All right, welcome to the post game show to get you in the know. I am Ethan Myers with the know. Like I said, win, lose, or draw, we'll be here week after week. That was a rough game because it felt like at halftime, the Saints turned some things around. Spencer settled down, things were looking good, put up a bunch of unanswered points, and then I don't even know what happened. Defense became what looked like prime Drew Brees era defense, left and right, just broken tackles, pitiful, really attempts most of the time. We tweeted out that it looked like the Saints were. It's just a lot of quit, right? Even the one that Alvin Kamara kind of caught and it bounced behind him, like you know, he's a pretty casual guy, so I'm not gonna say that was it, but that was kind of the first time that I noticed it just didn't look like it mattered, which is pretty frustrating to watch as a fan. We've said it all week, said it all season, said it last season. As sports fans, Saints fans, you want some hope, and outside of Spencer Rattler, just not looking like a rookie at all, in my opinion. Um, I guess that's the hope that you need, but everything else needs a lot. Um, just just a lot, and I think the Saints defense I've defended in the past couple of weeks. They've let us down in crunch time, but they just let us down in general this week. Um, like I said, the missed tackles and just quit that was out there was just kind of abysmal. You hate to see stuff like that with a team that I don't understand how you go from putting up 40 points on people to giving up 50. Three interceptions. I don't understand how you do that, and you only score 27 points and you give up 50. Just a lot of weird things with this game. It was a slugfest, and then it just turned into us getting slugged on. So, not a whole lot of positive words from this one outside of the fact that, like I said, at least Spencer does not look like a rookie. He early things went crazy. That 14-0, change. You lose your best receiver in Olave, but he didn't let it phase him. He just went out there and played football. Dennis Allen said at half that they have to be better around him, and I think that's accurate. It just seemed like um, there was just nothing going on around Olave or around Spencer that was positive. So yeah, it's one of those things that you really just shake your head at and you wonder what went wrong. Because, like I said, to have that many interceptions, to have that many things go your way at one point or another, and you're still giving up 51 points is a bit much. I don't quite understand um, what the game plan was at one point or another. It seemed like Todd Bowles was throwing a bunch of different blitzes at us, and our reaction was to just do the same thing over and over again, which I think for me is probably the most concerning thing about this Saints team is to constantly do the same thing and expect a different result. I'm not going to give you the cliche that everybody says, but the whole entire second half, the Bucks were doing the same thing on both sides of the ball. At one point, Cat Terrell tweeted out that Baker threw twice in the fourth quarter. I'm sorry. After he got injured, he didn't need to throw the ball. And when they're doing the same exact thing and you can't stop it and you make no adjustments to stop it, something's wrong there. I remember the days where the Saints had the records for 100 rushing yards or less, in a row, games back to back to back. And now this game, it's like, okay, you look at the stats and it's like 594 yards. Well, it must have been an air game. No, 277 yards of rushing. And mind you, the Saints had 303 total yards. So the Bucks almost matched our total yardage with just rushing yards. The amount of behind the line of scrimmage plays that turned into big plays down the field was unacceptable. Just a lot went wrong with the defense. And like I said, I've been a defender of them saying they spent too much time on the field, and but this week I have no excuses for them. They were just pitiful. Atrocious was a word on X that someone used to describe them, which is a pretty accurate thing. And I'm done blaming them. I'm done saying that if we had so and so, then this would be better. But I do think we have way too many injuries. That's it's a cause for concern beyond week 6 football. Um, when you have this many guys are down, and people say like, oh well, Dennis Allen can't coach hamstring. No, he can't. But something else has to be done with your coaching staff to figure out what's the issue, what's going on. Is it just bad luck? If it's bad luck, then sure. But it doesn't seem like bad luck because this has been a reoccurring theme for the Saints and their health. This week, it's just highlighted even more. Already missing big names, and through this game, you lose Tyrann Mathieu. Abrams goes down. You got AK out there playing through broken bones in his hand and his chest, and just a lot of funky things with injuries. Way too many guys getting injured. Way too many guys staying injured. And it's disappointing to see that week after week that we're just not getting healthier. We're just getting more hurt. And then you got guys like Kendre Miller, who I can't fathom why. You got guys like A.T. Perry and Kendre Miller who start the years hurt year after year, and they cut A.T. Perry, which we needed a center, so that's where that comes from. Maybe they're not that ready to give up on Kendre, but it just feels like what's the point of keeping these guys around when they're not playing? Especially when you have the injuries that you had. Yeah, Jordan Mims out there getting some run, which is great for him, but you go out and you sign Jamal Williams. You obviously don't trust him or don't want to play him. You got Kendre Miller riding the bench week after week because he's hurt. You lost your starting quarterback. You lost your starting center. You lost your starting guard. You lost your starting safety. You lost your other starting safety. You lost your starting linebacker. It's just, and the one place that we're healthy is the defensive line, and they kind of suck. We tweeted out that the Saints defensive line couldn't get pressure on a toddler. It's pitiful. I mean, to let Baker Mayfield look like Michael Vick on that one play where he just danced around everybody, and you had Alontae Taylor falling down. You had, I don't even know what was going on with the rest of the guys. Just kind of pitiful. Like I said, I've defended the defense in the past, but I can't defend anything I saw out there today. We had Paulson Adebo as the player of the game. I guess the one thing about Paulson that you can say is he's consistent. He's going to get you a penalty. He's going to get you a big play shortly after. But 8 solo tackles, 2 pass deflections, and an interception. Pretty solid stats for a corner. But, when Paulson Adebo is the best guy on the field, you're not having a very good game, So that's neither here nor there. Like I said, pretty disappointing all around for the Saints. If you want anything to be positive about, Spencer just didn't look rattled. Can't rattle the rattler. So that's a positive if you're looking for one. But that's about all I got. It's pretty rough right now to watch this team play football. But like I said, just over and over again, I could go on another rant about how we're struggling against mobile quarterbacks and they're the future of the NFL, and we need to figure out how to fix that. But I've said it the past 5 weeks, and obviously, I'm not a coach. I'm not a coordinator. I'm not out there making decisions, but something's got to give with that because the NFL is getting more and more mobile. More and more guys are coming out of the college level playing at a high athletic level. They're not just guys that sit back in the pocket and wait for things to develop. But if you're a Saints opposing quarterback, you probably could, sit back in the pocket and just wait for things to develop because we're giving guys when you're giving guys 6-7 seconds and you're just pushing against a 300-pound man for that long, and then you have to chase an athletic quarterback. It's just not going to end well, and that's exactly what happened time after time for the Saints. Just not getting to the quarterback, letting him slip by, a bunch of missed tackles. I hope that practice consists of punch out drills and tackling because that's all we need to do in this short week. We don't need anybody else injured. Practicing however they're practicing obviously isn't efficient, and it's getting pretty ugly. I'm not one to sit here and say fire Dennis Allen and this and that. But at some point or another, you just have to question which direction things are going. A lot of folks were really happy with Spencer Rattler out there this week, and rightfully so. It was good to watch. I think that's a much different ball game with a lot of different quarterbacks. It was good to see him stay calm and not look like a rookie, but at the end of the day, in 3, 4 weeks, whenever Derek Carr comes back, I really don't think that if this is how Spencer plays and this is how the games go between now and then, doesn't matter who we have at quarterback. And Dennis Allen's going to play the Dennis Allen card and just go right back with Derek Carr. I think that Spencer Rattler would have to throw 5 touchdowns a game and rush for 2 for him to get the nod over Derek Carr. So again, we can look at the positive that Spencer looked good, but frankly, I don't think it matters much because he's not going to get the start. He's not going to get the nod over Derek Carr. And if I'm wrong, I'll be shocked because that just hasn't felt like the Dennis Allen pedigree. Over and over again, do the same thing and expect different results has kind of been what he's went for, and it's just not working. So if you took the safe bets, Alvin Kamara and Chris Godwin, even if you took them 1-1, or if you took them as a parlay, you won. That's great. That was something that I said those felt like safe bets. Mike Evans didn't really play a whole lot, but I did say that with Lattimore out there, Evans probably wasn't going to get a whole bunch of red zone looks, and that relied on Chris Godwin at that point. So you got that, and like I said, AK is a safe bet, even in a game that looked as slow and kind of bad in the second half is this when Alvin Kamara was still able to get into the end zone and get a touchdown. So if you took that one, fantastic. I also did say that tight end should be a young quarterback's what I'm looking for, safety net. So I said that if you want to do something crazy, maybe go with Foster Moreau. He did not get a touchdown, however, but it was good to see the tight ends just get some run, right? It's felt like the tight ends have been kind of invisible. They've had touchdowns here and there, but they haven't really been used in the middle of the field or anything like that. But both Foster and Juwan led the team in yards at 54 and 48. Juwan had a couple of good catches. Juwan looked good for a change, which is great to see. Not really sure if we're just not using them right or if maybe they were in the play design a little more because you have a rookie quarterback. Either way, it was good to see those guys get involved and see what they could do because they're both talented, both really good at what they do. So NFC South picture is really not cleaning up at all. I think the Buccaneers winning and the Falcons are playing the Panthers. I know it's 7-7, but we'll see what happens with that game. It's still early, and in theory, the Saints could make some changes and ignite a fire under somebody and find a way to win a couple of games, string some stuff together. But frankly, you're already pretty bad off in regards to divisional record because sure you beat the Panthers, but in the last 3 weeks you've had 2 divisional games and you've lost both of them. So we're 1-2 in the division, which hurts. Meanwhile, you have the Falcons who are playing the Carolina Panthers today. They beat us, they beat the Bucks, and if they beat the Bucks or the Panthers today, not only are they 4-2, but they're also 3-0 in the division, which for late season implications is pretty serious. You play your divisional guys twice every year, so that's 6 games out of the year, and if they're already 500, no matter what, it's going to be a long season. You expect them to beat Carolina again. Carolina might be down in the slumps and giving up, and that's the last game of the season. And we have the Bucks for the last game of the season, so those divisional games matter. We saw that last week when it was a tiebreaker between the Saints and the Bucks for NFC South, and so those games matter. And right now, we just gave them all away. So 2 games for divisional that we dropped in the last 3 weeks has been rough to see, but we'll see what the Saints do with that. And I have, like I said, it's rough to watch the same thing happen over and over and over and over again. So if you won some money with Alvin Kamara and Chris Godwin, we'll take a look at what we got here on FanDuel for some bets for the later game. Like I said, that later game I think it's either going to be one of those games where I'm leaning more towards that it's a like 9-3 win for somebody. Pretty boring game. Could be wrong. Probably will be wrong. But a lot of LSU talent. If you want to put some money on the games that are going on right now, you could probably throw in a little, maybe Bijan for a touchdown if he doesn't already have one. I really don't know, but Bijan looks like he might have one already. So yeah, should have said that earlier, I guess, but we didn't hop on until now. But He looks good. But yeah, for the Cincinnati Bengals, the New York Giants, I say just go with the LSU parlay. Throw a little money on both Malik Neighbors and Jamar Chase for touchdowns. That should be fun if you're an LSU fan. If you're not, they're still hell of players. So pretty good odds that they're going to get touchdowns. We're not going to go anything too crazy for those games because I don't really follow either one of those teams too closely to be looking deep into the playoff touchdown score props. But yeah, I like Jamar. I like Malik. Malik got his first one last week, I think. Maybe his first one, maybe his second one. I think it was his first one. But yeah, so that should be fun. The game tonight, Bengals and Giants, is going to be, um, you know, like I said, it could be one of those games that pops off like the Saints game, but I also have a feeling it might be a 9-3 game. So I don't even know if you want touchdown score props for that one, but take it if you want it. If you want some money with AK and the Chris Godwin parlay, congratulations. Keep your money. Don't go chasing wins. Gamble responsibly, all that good stuff. This has been the post game show to get you in the know. We will be here next week, so come tune in with us. Like I said, I'll be here, win, lose, or draw, unless I got a flat tire on the side of the interstate. Even then, I might turn on the phone and hop on here with you guys pre and post game. But yeah, come join us every week. Make sure you check out the website, www.theknow.com. At Be in the Know everywhere on socials. If it's not something with a tag, we're just at the Know. So YouTube and things like that. Come check us out. It's been fun chatting with you guys when you guys do leave comments. So drop those comments, drop your thoughts. It's fun to react to them. So other than that, we will see you guys next week, and make sure you check out that episode, the episode of that Saints pod that drops later this week. Pelicans are playing, so go check that out. Make sure your local favorite bar puts the games on since they have local channels now. And yep, stay in the know, be in the know, and I'll see you next week.